Alright, we're gonna see how this goes. Wouldn't be a video of mine if I didn't mess with my hair right at the beginning. What is going on, everybody? My name is ChrisChaotix and welcome to the latest installment of Struggles of a Small Streamer. Now let me tell you something. Before we get started, I do stream on Twitch every Monday, Thursday and Friday, and sometimes on the weekends if I feel like it. We do retro games on Sunday every once in a while, and I'm trying to start community nights pretty soon, so if that's your type of content, go check me out on twitch.tv/ChrisChaotix. The link is down below. So hey, just checking in on you. How you doing? You doing good? Good. Did you wish your mother a happy Mother's Day this past Sunday? I hope you surely did, because if you didn't, you're probably gonna have an awkward Thanksgiving this year. It has been really hot here these past few days, like 85 degrees out, and I am a summer guy. I do like the sunshine, but it's still April, and I live in the Seattle area in Washington State. We're not used to the heat this fast, this quickly, in April, so it took me by surprise, but I'm a kind of guy who likes to wear layers, so I have the fan on in the background. If it picks up, I'm sorry on the mic. I'm doing my best here. It's hot. So let's talk about failure. I'm sure at one point in our lives we felt like we failed at something that we really put a lot of time and effort into, that we were passionate about. For example, if I could go into detail real quick, I have failed on YouTube multiple times. I have done 3 channels, trying something new every time. First one was a game review show, and then the second one was a game news channel. That failed. And then I tried doing top 5 videos and skits on GsTV Studios, which is my old channel. That failed miserably. And then I tried doing podcasts for a while, and that failed as well too. And everyone thinks failure is a bad thing. I don't necessarily think so. I think failure is a great lesson to be learned in what to do and what not to do. If I could talk about my own failure real quick, it's something that I don't do well with. In the past, I've really kind of just shut down and done nothing once I reached that point of failure. Like when my podcasts weren't doing well on GsTV Studios, I just stopped. I didn't care anymore. I stopped for a year doing anything creatively. I stopped doing projects. I stopped doing graphic design, anything. I stopped. I was really discouraged about how things turned out, and it really put me in a bad spot, mentally, physically, everything. When I started GsTV Studios, it didn't have an identity, and that's because I didn't put enough thought into it. I thought, man, I'm just gonna be successful right off the bat because I'm talking about this, and I started to get steam. My voice, I just hit puberty there for a minute. It started to get steam a little bit, but then it kind of just spiraled down. It really set me back. I didn't want to do any more videos because of it. And a lot of that had to do with creative burnout, but the other thing is that I just didn't put enough time into it either because I wasn't really passionate about it. My passion was misplaced on something else that I really wanted to do, but I did this as kind of like a side thing, and because I didn't put all my time and effort into it, it wasn't as successful as I wanted it to be. But at the same time, I almost allowed it to be a failure because of that. I didn't put all my time and effort into it. And then I tried to morph it into a podcast channel, and then I'd invite my buddies, we would talk about this and that. And editing is not my best friend. I kind of like the process of editing, the cool things you could do, post-production, all that stuff. But at the same time, there's just a lot to edit, an hour video and audio podcast. And eventually I just didn't want to do it anymore, so I allowed it to be a failure. But it taught me that I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do a podcast like that show. And then I tried to do top 5 videos, top 5 NES games of the 90s or something like that, whatever, And that was a failure too, because YouTube does favor quantity over quality, and that will be another video in the the future where I talk about that, because I think the current state of YouTube is not good, but that's a whole nother subject for another time. So, but I would just like pour all my effort into this one video and then see it do next to nothing in views, and it would really, get me down. I didn't do another video for like months because of it. I allowed it to be a failure, and I think in the back of my mind I kind of wanted it to be so I could be done with it, because I felt like at one point or another I had to do this because I had put enough videos out there that it became kind of a chore to do. And the thing is, when you're trying to be successful, always do what you want to do, and don't let anyone tell you different get in your ears, because I also allowed that to happen, where I'm also my own worst critic. I'm going off a little bit sidebar here. I am my own worst critic, but like I allow people to criticize me and get to me as well. And a lot of that happened, and it really derailed me from my plan of what I wanted to do. So failure obviously is not good, but there is something to be learned from it. I've talked to a bunch of people who have said they failed, at something, whether it be on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, platform they're trying to be successful on, and then they just flat out quit once they hit that failure. I think it's very important to keep going and take what you failed at, turn it around, and be successful. I'm sure I'm going to upset a lot of people by saying this because it's a quote from Star Wars: The Last Jedi, but it's actually a very good quote. Failure is the greatest lesson, said by Master Yoda himself to Luke when he was all being emo on an island far, far away, which is unlike his character, but we won't get into that today. A lot of people, when they reach failure, or get to that point of being recognized as a failure to themselves, is that they just want to stop doing whatever they're doing. I think everyone should go through failure at some point in their life, because it teaches them, the ins and outs of what you're trying to do and where did you go wrong, and then you analyze what you did. But doing that too can also set you kind of, downhill into depression, saying, well, I just spent all this time trying to, start a YouTube channel and it got nowhere, and I put all this effort into it. Why is, you start questioning yourself why it wasn't successful. And with that, you can kind of like spiral downhill and then go into the void of depression or, anxiety. And then why did I get up this morning to do this for, you guys? And then why am I streaming, or why am I doing any of this? It's your own thoughts getting to you, because not everyone sees you as that. They see you as, oh, cool. Hey, he put out a new video. Hey, he's live. How cool is that? He gets to communicate with, a couple people on stream. But, from what I've learned through my own failures is that you just can't give up. You have to strive and push forward, because it's life testing you to see if this is really what you really want to do, And sure, maybe you're not supposed to be doing that thing or whatever it could be, but who's to tell you differently? It's your own self and your own thoughts getting to you in your head. And you should push forward if that's what you truly think that you should be doing, whether it is or not, And it goes back to a quote, obviously failure is the greatest teacher and all that, but there's another quote that I heard years ago from Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, back when I was a big fan of his, is that without failure, there is no success. It makes sense when you really analyze that saying, because if you were to be successful right off the bat, you wouldn't know the struggles of trying to get to where you were and become a better person because of it. The point I'm trying to make here is that, will you fail in life? Probably, but it's what you do with that failure and turn it around to be successful. There is no success without failure. That's very important to learn. So think about that next time when you're trying to start up a YouTube channel, stream on Twitch for 3 to 4 hours, a day, 7 days a week or something like that, right off the bat. Know that you are going to experience failure, but don't be discouraged because of it. Learn from it, adapt, fine-tune your content, and I bet you more than anything, later down the line, you'll be successful. I know when I've experienced failure in the past, it really has derailed me from my content creative process. and I don't feel like doing that stuff anymore. I mean, I've had 3 to 4 failed YouTube projects, and it really got to me, and I didn't want to do anything creatively for the longest time. But at the core, I am a creative person, so I know that I had to pick myself up and keep pushing forward. For example, my Twitch, it's doing good. You know, we're 5 months in, and I'm finally averaging around 5 to 10 viewers a stream, which is great from where I'm at. I think so. We are now 10 to 11 subs a month, which is great. So this is the first time I'm feeling like this is something that I need to do, which is why I think streaming for me is the right creative outlet. Because as bad as this might sound, it's a lot easier to maintain what I want to do versus having to record a video, edit a thumbnail, send it out to all the platforms and hope that it does well over 20 views. But the reason why I'm doing this is because it's a lot easier for me to edit, a lot easier for me to just ramble, because that's something I like to do. If you want to check that out, I do it a lot on Twitch as well. It's a lot easier for me just to talk to you almost one-on-one directly. And that's what I like to do. That's why I started streaming, because I like to have that one-on-one connection with the viewer. And I think with that is my key to success. This YouTube channel is more or less, me as a secondary outlet for my creative personality to talk to you guys and share to you my experiences in the past. And maybe you'll learn something from this, maybe you won't. Hey, it is what it is. Hey, I'm getting off topic. The point is being that if you feel like you're being a failure, you're not. Odds are you're just being, a very hard critic on your own self, and that you should pick yourself up, come up with new ideas, come up with new and fun, innovative ways to keep yourself entertained and passionate about what you're doing. And successful can mean different things to people too. For what you may see as average, I think as successful. It is, the word successful is what you want it to mean. And that can mean that, hey, I'm averaging, 5 to 10 viewers a stream, or hey, this video got 40 views within the first day, which is amazing, or whatever. There's different tiers of success, and I think it's very important to realize that. Otherwise, it didn't get 200 views in the first hour. I poured my heart and soul into that. Why is it failing? And you shouldn't think like that. I think a lot of people put too much pressure on themselves to do good and be successful, and they're also too harsh on themselves at times when something doesn't do good right off the bat. You just have to learn to roll with the punches, fine-tune your creative process, and you will be successful later down the line. I promise you. Whatever tier of success you're trying to reach, make sure it's a reasonable one. That way you don't set yourself up for failure, because I see a lot of people do that creatively, where they aim ridiculously high and almost right off the bat set themselves up for failure. I'm not saying set the bar ridiculously low, but like set it at a reasonable height where when you reach that, you actually feel accomplished. So if you ever feel like you're failing at something, or you're just flat out a failure, you're not. It's just you talking to yourself, putting yourself in a bad mood, and being harsh on yourself. Don't do that. That's not healthy. Nobody likes that. But it's easy to do because we allow that to happen to ourselves. Just take a deep breath, realize where you're at and what you can do to be better, learn from your mistakes, and remember there is no success without failure. Alright, that's going to wrap it up for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm starting to sweat. You can probably see it. And I'll see you guys next time for another video. Remember, I do stream on Twitch every Monday, Thursday, and Friday around 3 o'clock. So link down below for that. I'd love to see you. We can talk more about this kind of stuff. And remember to like this video and subscribe if you really want to see more, and support me and all that jazz, because I'm trying to be successful and not be a failure. I don't know where I'm going with this. Anyways, I'm going to wrap this up. It's hot. I'll see you guys next time.